Welcome to Cosmo Talks. I'm Petra. In this episode, we explore the minimal effective intervention and how you can be a good host to your microorganisms. Because together, you form a fascinating ecosystem, and when the interaction is right, when the crosstalk runs smoothly, you flourish. More isn't always better. More supplements, more restrictions, more protocols, more tracking. The biohacking culture suggests that optimization calls for stacking, adding everything that might potentially help. But biological systems work differently. They're not linear. Double the input doesn't give double the output. Sometimes double the input gives negative output. What if the art isn't doing as much as possible, but doing exactly enough? What if the question isn't what else can I add, but what's the minimum that works? Many people think more is always better. More vitamins, more antioxidants, more interventions. The more, the healthier. But your body is a complex, self-organizing system. It's not a machine where you pour in more fuel for more output. Too much of something can be just as problematic as too little. Excess antioxidants can become pro-oxidant. Too much of certain supplements can disrupt balances. Overly strict diets can harm microbiome diversity. And then there's the cognitive load. Every intervention you add demands attention, planning, willpower. Those resources are finite. When you spread them across 20 interventions, you can't sustain any one of them consistently. The question shouldn't be, what could help? The question should be, what's the minimum that gives the maximum effect? In pharmacology, this is called the minimal effective dose, the lowest dose that produces the desired effect. In 2023, a team from Stanford applied this concept to lifestyle interventions, published in JAMA Network Open. They analyzed which combination of interventions gave the best health outcomes with the least complexity. Their conclusion: a handful of fundamental interventions delivered the majority of the benefits. Adding more interventions gave diminishing returns, and sometimes negative returns through compliance problems. The sweet spot: 3 to 5 core interventions consistently applied. For microbiome health, a 2022 study in Gut showed something similar. Complex supplement protocols with prebiotics, probiotics, and synbiotics were no more effective than simply increasing fiber through varied food. Sometimes the simplest is also the most effective. The key is identifying what gives the most effect for your specific situation and focusing on that, not trying everything, trying the right thing. At Cosmo Group, we learned the power of focus through trial and error. Early in our practice, we gave extensive protocols, 10, 15 recommendations at once. The results were inconsistent, not from bad advice, but from overwhelm. No one could sustain it all. We shifted to a different model. What's the minimum that gives the maximum effect? A software developer in his early 30s illustrates this. He came with a list of 30 supplements and protocols he wanted to try after online research. We persuaded him to think differently, not 30 things, but 3. The 3 interventions that would have the most effect on his specific microbiome and markers. After 3 months, his markers had significantly improved. Not with 30 interventions, with 3. He summed it up. I did less, but I actually did it. That made the difference. The aha moment. The best strategy isn't the most extensive, it's the most focused. Identify the 2 or 3 interventions that could have the most effect for you. Focus all your attention there. Do them consistently over a long time. Let the rest go. Not because it couldn't help, but because your attention is finite, and scattered attention leads to scattered results. Consistency in a few beats, inconsistency in many, every time. The biohack, the elimination audit. Make a list of all the health interventions you do or are considering, supplements, routines, restrictions, tracking habits. For each item, ask yourself, is this in my top 3 for impact? If not, eliminate it temporarily. Focus for 3 months only on your top 3. Then evaluate, are you better off with focus or with complexity? For most people, the answer is surprisingly clear. This was Cosmo Talks. Remember, you're not a machine that can break down. You're not a puzzle made of separate, loose pieces. You're an ecosystem that responds, and that's good news, because every moment is a new opportunity to work on your biological age and your health. Want to discover more? Visit cosmogroup.eu. Until next time.